Definitely when I saw those John Bellion videos. I actually have his album cover tattooed right here. Flower Shops came out by Morgan and Ernest, and I kind of started diving into Ernest's catalog as a songwriter, not just as an artist. And it was just like mind blowing to me, like how talented he is with words. And so like that's the other tattoo I have. It's the sheet music to Flower Shops right there. It was the first song I learned on guitars. I'm Nick Nash. I started out making beats maybe 10 years ago, just basically in my bedroom, just like, you know, every other bedroom producer nowadays. My friend that lived like behind my house, he like showed me this video of this guy making beats, and I was like, oh my God, I gotta learn how to do this. People who know that is John Bellion, that, you know, the videos that everybody knows, that behind the scenes and whatnot. And, you know, as soon as I saw those, I just was like hooked on making music. So yeah, I started making beats just in, I bought a Scarlett 2i2 interface that I actually still have to this day. It came with like Ableton Live, so I ended up just trying to do that and switching over to FL Studio. Did that for a long time, produced a couple, you know, a gold record and then a record that did pretty well overseas. I don't think it's technically certified or anything, but streamed pretty well, called Vita Cheek. And then I transitioned over to making music of my own. I'm definitely more in like the country lane, or country pop even. But I'd like to think I make, you know, all types of music. I listened to all types of music as a kid, and country was definitely like, it was like the big three for me. It was right, like it was classic rock, like All American Rejects type of thing, and then you would have like Jake Owen, or I mean that's probably a little bit later, but like, you know, Blake Shelton, like that style of FGL, just like hanging out at the pool with my family type of music, and we would always bump that kind of stuff. And then rap came along, so those are just like kind of the three main types of music I listen to. And I'm from North Carolina, so I guess like the South or whatever, so like everyone around me listened to basically that as well. And then, so when I started getting into making like rap beats, I was working on a lot of stuff for like the like melodic rap style of music, kind of like the No Caps and the 2Cs of this world, and they, you know, use a lot of guitars and similar chord progressions to country music. So people were sending me these loops, and this one guy, Seth Got the Waves, sent me a loop, I guess, for that style of music, and I was like, hold up, this sounds like country song. So I was just like messing around, and I was like, I wonder how a country beat would do on YouTube. So I made a Luke Combs type beat with it. Looking back, it was like Luke Combs would never get on it. It was not at all. It was barely even a country beat, but a country artist named Kid G ended up finding it from that, and I produced my first country song that way. And honestly, like, I love hip hop, but the business went a lot smoother on the country side of things. And like, I guess kind of started falling in love with like making that style of music after that. Yeah, I like here and there would show interest. So like at first, you know, my mom got me like a little keyboard for my birthday, I think, just like randomly, and I kind of played around, had a few lessons on that, but didn't stick with it. And then same thing with guitar. And then I ended up joining my band in middle school. So for 2 years I played saxophone. I have no idea how to play saxophone anymore. I ended up making up a lie about how like my braces hurt when I played saxophone to get out of band class. But then, you know, I saw that movie Let It Shine. It was kind of like a knockoff of 8 Mile. Yeah, and I was like, you know, 5th grade, 8th grade, like that. I don't remember how old I was, but like, yeah, that's when I started getting into rap music. So I ended up downloading this app with my friend where we would like rap battle people. But I like learned very quickly that I couldn't rap, so I started like making the beats for him, just like with the little loops they had in the app. And we were like, oh my God, this is a great idea. Like we called ourselves Beat and Flow. I'm Beat and he's Flow. And so like I just did little things like that here and there, but I didn't learn any instruments until I started trying to make country music, because I started surrounding myself with a lot of people who were much better musicians than me, and they all could play guitar and they could all play keys, and I'm like, I want to be like them. So I kind of committed myself to that at that point. Like I mentioned before, definitely when I saw those John Bellion videos, I actually have his album cover tattooed right here. I guess more lately, like this isn't growing up, but you know, I was 18 or 19, maybe it was even later than that, but Flower Shops came out by Morgan and Ernest, and I kind of started diving into Ernest's catalog as a songwriter, not just as an artist, and it was just like mind blowing to me, like how talented he is with words. And so like that's the other tattoo I have. It's the sheet music to Flower Shops right there. It was the first song I learned on guitars. So Ernest is definitely somebody that I look up to, and I'm like, if there's somebody that I want to be like obviously I want to be my own musician and my own person, but if there is somebody that I want to be like, it's Ernest. I think it just kind of goes into the process of how I make music. When I was making beats for people, or even when I write demos for people, the mindset that I go into it with is not like, oh, what's a person that this song would sing, or like, what's like a hit for the radio. It's just kind of like, okay, as a fan of this person, this is my chance to create a song for them. What would I like to hear them sing? So I kind of just imagine that from that perspective, you know, if I'm writing for another artist, what would I like to hear them put out on Spotify? And then, so as I started writing demos, I kind of applied that same logic, because I had, you know, 30 demos pile up on my computer, and I'm like, wow, these are really good, and hey, this artist didn't take this one, this artist didn't take this one, and I think they're really good, so like maybe I could put them out myself. So it's just kind of like my take on other artists' styles. Inevitably, you know, with me creating it, not the artist that I wrote it for, it's gonna sound different, and that's probably the reason that, you know, so-and-so artist didn't take the demo. I mean, there's definitely a lot of ways I can go about starting a song. I would say that I usually start with like a concept that'll come to me either from like listening to another song that maybe someone dropped a verse bar on that I thought could be expanded upon into a whole concept, or I misheard what they said in the song and I'm like, wait, that would actually be a cooler thing to say, so let me write that song. Or even sometimes I'll just wake up and there will be like a title in my head, whether it's like a play on words or just like a cool sounding set of words. And it's like, how can I write a song around that set of words? And then from the musical aspect, like I said, I've just surrounded myself with a lot of talented musicians. So like musically, I'm not coming up with the ideas a lot of times. Either my roommate, Caleb, will, you know, come up with an idea on guitar, or I have like an email people still send loops to. But every once in a while, I'll come up with like, you know, a guitar loop or something like that for my own song as well. But the words and the concept definitely comes first. That's kind of what I'm trying to figure out right now. My entire decision to launch an artist project was based on the fact that I had so much music sitting on my computer that wasn't getting out to the world, and I was just like, I want to get it out to the world, so I'll put it out, sing it myself, and I could not sing it first. So I, you know, that was the whole process of even learning how to be able to do that. I have several artists that I listen to that I want to model myself after, and so honestly, like I kind of just try to mesh all of those styles together. But I'm definitely, you know, trying to figure out my own sound still, and I don't necessarily have much of a different process in writing for someone than I do myself. Drive Myself was a concept that I had like over a year ago, and I actually wrote that a version of that song last year before I even started releasing music of my own, and it was just kind of, I thought about the, you know, the concept of drink and drive, and people also say, oh, drive myself insane. That's a common phrase as well. So it would make sense to me that someone could drive themselves insane by drinking. So I can definitely put a play on the words drink and drive myself insane. And then from there, I was just kind of like, I think that one actually was one where I came up with a guitar concept myself, kind of just strumming with my buddy Dwayne, that's also on the song. And we kind of just started putting lyrics together that kind of fit around the concept of like, okay, I'm going to drive myself insane, but I'm not going to go too far and maybe like actually drink and drive or whatever. And there goes the like wordplay of like hitting something like a wall. That's something you would do if you were probably drinking and driving, but you know, the play on the words is like, if you're just driving yourself insane, you know, you're hitting a wall metaphorically as well. So I tried to put in a bunch of like wordplay like that. Before that was Sucker for Slow Songs. That was, like I said, like I really want to be, you know, like Ernest, I guess, in that sense, where it was just, he dropped his recent project, Nashville, Tennessee, and I just wanted to like embody the sound of that. So I was like, I sat down with my friend Caleb Avery that produced it with me, and I was like, how can we, like, what chords can we play that sound like, you know, a Hank Williams song or sound like this Ernest project? And we kind of just started messing around, you know. I guess we stumbled across the idea of Sucker for Slow Songs. It was the triple S alliteration, so like I thought that was cool. I always look for like some sort of qualifier that, like, before I put out a song or even write the song, I'm like, what about this title or what about this concept makes it different from the rest of them? I'll give two answers for this one. I'll say Sucker for Slow Songs sonically, like in terms of how it sounds, not even how well it's written or anything, although I do think it's written very well. I would say that would be like my favorite song to listen to. I think much earlier on, it was February of this year, so I guess not that much earlier on, but I'm pretty new at this. Make Some Room, I think maybe is the best song that I've ever written. I didn't deliver it as well as I could have because I wasn't, you know, not even that I'm a super talented singer now, but I'm a better singer now than I was back then, and I think I could have maybe even produced it better. It's definitely an underrated song, and I think the writing on that one is my favorite. So yeah, I've already uploaded my next single. It'll be dropping July 5th. It's called I Remember Fine, and then I'm working on the one after that. It's called Walk Away, where I've written it. Now I just need to track and produce that. My plan is to keep up with a consistent release schedule. You know, I like to release every 2 to 3 weeks. I just want to keep giving the people new songs, and I have enough demos and I make enough music to do that. So, why hold it back? And then I'm actually moving to Nashville next month. So hopefully the music's going to go up and I'm going to be surrounded with a whole lot of people, and obviously writing for other people and producing for other people and just kind of turning it into overdrive once I make that move next month. Yeah, if you want to find me on socials, at Nick Nash Music is my Instagram and my TikTok. Like I said, my next release is coming out July 5th. Called I Remember Fine. Pre-save links in my bio of both of those socials.